Lagos, it's that time for us to talk about the market and what it looks like today on Marketplace. It is a Monday, by the way. So you're looking at the investments you need to make, how much money is in there. If you already have stocks in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I am happy for you. And I literally am saying this because just seeing the gains, oh my word. Well, today on the marketplace, we will be taking a look at the hot streak in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, like I've been raving about, and how the market has gained 6 trillion naira in guess what? Just 1 week. Imagine if that was you. Also, we'll be touching on what Pencom is all about, what they're doing, and all that. Then also how China is also playing in this market, well, electronically, if you know what I mean. But they're partnering with Enugu State. Well, to shed more light on this interesting conversation, I have my guest in the person of ChiDaalu Nwocha. She is an investment research analyst with Afrinvest Research and Consulting. Good evening, ChiDaalu, and glad to have you with me.
Good evening, Joy. I hope you're having a beautiful day.
Awesome, awesome. Anytime I see numbers and I see money, I'm always excited. Well, Lagos, you too can be a part of the conversation. You also like money? You want to be a part of the conversation? Oh, by all means, you're very welcome. What you want to do is share your thoughts and questions on WhatsApp 0911 999 0981. You know what? Let's get straight into the conversation for this evening. And I think we should start off with Pencom. So I know that Pencom um, decided to increase the maximum investment allocation of pension fund administrators to that is their allocation to ordinary shares for key retirement savings account. You know what? In lay terms, break it down to us what this rationale really means. Because some people will be saying, what are they doing with our with our pension, our retirement savings? I hope nothing's happening to it. That's all they are hearing. They're not hearing the other things, underlying things behind it. So please break it down for us.
Okay, so think of your pension like a long-term saving basket that is being invested for you. So
Right.
think of the regulator, that's the National Pension Commission, and how it decides how much of that basket can go into different kinds of investments. Like let's say the safe ones, which are like the government bonds, and the riskier assets like the ones in company shares. So the basic idea is PECOM increased the amount of pension funds that are allowed to invest in company shares. That's the riskier ones. So they did
Mm,
that because pension needs to grow faster over time. And then the old rules are kind of like outdated and they're very, very restrictive. So in layman terms, just in think about it like farming, you have the bonds that's like planting cassava, which is safe,
mm, mm,
predictable, but has slow
mm.
growth. And then you have shares like that's like planting mango trees, riskier but can grow very much bigger. So that's
Right.
layman terms.
I like how you've brought food into it. And yeah, we're about to get into mango season. I already see some, but I haven't tried it because some of them don't look like what I want to touch. But away from the food.
That's fine.
Away from the fruits because fruits are delicious only when they are allowed to ripen on the fruit and you get them. Anyways, Joy, stop talking about food. Let's talk more about business and how we can make more money and get into the right space. Now, is this a risky move to have made though? Seeing like you said, oh, okay, instead of just keeping it like cassava, waiting for to slowly gain funds, why should we be excited about this, especially for those who have retirement funds already?
Okay. I won't say it's a risky move. Yes, it is risky, but in a measured way. So shares goes up and down in the short term. That's very volatile. The NGX, the stock exchange market is very volatile. That's why you call it
Mhm.
like a risky investment. But then pensions are invested for a period of like 20 to 40 years. So they are not meant for like quick withdrawal. So if you're looking for
Withdrawal.
like long term investment, It's sort of like designed to ride out market swings, and over long periods, you can see like share historically outperform safer assets. So if pensions avoided shares totally, that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be the bigger risk than not investing in shares. So it's not a risky move. The bigger risk would be not investing in
At
shares
all.
at all.
Ah,
Yeah, that's the bigger risk.
no,
So
that's
it's
a whole.
totally not reckless
Not what we're looking for at all,
at
at all.
all.
No,
At all.
the more money we can get in, the happier we would be, especially for retirees. They've put in the plenty work, so they need to, get something out of it. Anyways, let's move and talk about the market, stock exchange market from last week. We saw that the Nigerian Stock Exchange gained. This one I saw, I was like, wait, oh my word. Lagos, you need to hear the digits. 6.79 trillion naira. It's not dollars. I know you're like, it's still a lot. Look at that. In value, that is how much we're able to make in 1 week. And then it rose by 6.16% last week. Can you explain how, speak to this trajectory in the market? What exactly are we doing right? I'm so happy.
Okay. So apart from the positive investor sentiments all around, because if you look at it, it's not just one stock that pushed that gain. It was a broad-based gain across custom street. So one major reason you can link it back to the recent rule that was changed by Pencom. So it means unlocked fresh liquidity. So meaning billions of naira that were previously sitting around the sidelines being idle came into the
Mhm.
market full force, made strong, repeatable stocks attractive, especially to institutional buyers like pension fund managers. Pension were very, very attractive. And so a lot of investors' confidence. If you go now to social media, there are a lot of people participating in social media. If everybody has become a research analyst,
I'm
analyzing the stock,
telling
everybody
you.
wants to make money. So there's that investor sentiment, there's the broad-based market participation. Not just one stock is pushing the not just one stock is pushing the market, and
Market
then
up.
there's improving economic factors. I mean, we've seen the exchange rate stabilizing recently,
Mm.
so people putting their money back home is really not much of a bad idea too.
I like the fact that you're also alluding to the fact that people in the diaspora before they weren't so eager to put their monies in, but now they are also tapping into the market to see what gains they can make. And that is something that am excited about. But what is your advice for anyone who's new in the market or trying to invest? Is this something they should be excited about? Is there hope for them?
Yes. Okay, yeah. I would advise anybody coming into the market to do proper research. Don't just
Mm-hmm.
go and buy stocks because maybe your friend is telling you, I bought this and I'm currently having so and so amount. There are basic things to check there are basic things to check about like a particular stock. So do your proper research. Things like, is it liquid, their financials, they have strong fundamentals, what is it going to do over time? And even if you're unable to do that kind of research, there are a lot of research houses that produces like um stock recommendation. They'll give you recommendation, and you can always send an email and ask, what stock should I do, what stock should so my main advice would be to do proper research before entering the market. Don't just go because your friend is investing. Just do proper research.
I like the fact that you said don't just go and start putting your money into anything just because some people will tell you right now that, oh, this is where I am and this is what is making me have funds. I'm trading in gold, I'm trading in so and so. Ah, you might put your money there. It might be a lot during the day, but market can just change in a twinkle of an
Be
eye. So
open to volatility basically, and it's for long-term growth. So if you're going in just for the short term, you really don't
it's
want
not
to go
the
there. So
space. It's not the space to want to dabble in if you're looking for short-term goals. Ah, great stuff. Well, still talking about the stock market. Now let's talk about some companies in particular that have, seem to be doing something. on the positive. I'm talking about MTN. So MTN Nigeria has retaking its market capitalization from Boa Foods. Now their stock is relatively high, and in Nigeria currently it is 14.9 trillion. What do you make of this price appreciation? Is there something they're doing that I know that Boa made a lot from we saw how they even celebrated at the end of the year 2025. So I'm wondering what is that thing that they've done, or that is I'm talking about MTN now, that they've done to make this upward appreciation.
Oh, okay. So basically, there are like three factors I will point that to. One of them will be earnings recovery and profit growth. So
Oh,
the
okay.
previous year, that's I think around 2024, 2023,
Mm-hmm.
MTN Nigeria previously struggled with losses due to the FX volatility, foreign exchange loss then.
Okay.
But in 2025, it staged like a strong turnaround, returning to profits, including a large profit in the first 9 months of last year compared to the losses it did in 2024. So profit growth is one of the key drivers of share prices when investors see a company to make more money consistently. They're willing to pay higher prices for its stock. Another thing is like the dividend resumption. So I think they announced a dividend of about 5 naira interim dividend for shareholders, which is a
Mm.
signal, which shows strong signals and is showing that okay, they are willing to give you a return for your cash as investors. So dividends are attractive. A lot of people make money just from their dividends alone. Imagine buying share from the company and not just making money just from profit, just from price appreciation. We're also making money from dividend from owning a part of that company. That's another thing. Another thing too, you have the data and also the digital service growth. Telecom companies like MTN, that's like the biggest currently in Nigeria, from rising data usage, mobile money transfer, other digital services,
Mm.
and others. So this kind of thing, they try to like improve the whole sentiment around the stock. And it's like a stock that you want to have long term on your financials. So I think that's probably it. The earnings recovery and growth profit, the dividends and the data and digital services they all provide.
Right, it's a full package. But one would say that MTN is communications, while BOA is food. So that's consumer goods and telco. Why would we even want to, put them side by side? They're different sectors in a sense, but on the stock exchange market, it seems like okay, we're looking at them. How is this? What do you make of both sectors?
So when you look at it, according to data, they are part of the big four sectors. If you include industrial and banking, that currently constitute over 80% of the exchange. So they are
Hmm.
currently the big top sectors. So if you're looking at them, you're trying to compare them side by side, like what investors see. Maybe you're looking demand based. You look at consumer goods, that everyday essentials, food, drinks, obviously their revenue is going to grow. Then when you look at MTN, that's telecommunication, essential
Hmm.
communication. I'm talking
Oh,
to you right
yes.
now because of probably data that I have to buy from the mobile network.
Right.
So that should be something. You're looking at growth drivers. So you're checking consumer spending, pricing power, you're talking about consumer goods. Then for
Hmm.
telecommunication, you're looking at data growth, mobile money, all the services MTN provides, volatility, and when you look at volatility too, for consumer goods, you're seeing that oh, the price of goods in the market can swing with consumer sentiment. I can just get up to them and say, oh, I don't want to eat so and so this from this brand. I want to eat from this brand. When you look at it from the IC, from the telecommunication side, it's more
Thanks.
predictable with the amount of revenue you do. So you can't really compare both of them. There are two big sectors currently contributing to the NGX, currently 117 trillion naira market capitalization. So comparing both of them is like a double-edged sword. You can't really compare both of them. They have their own advantages in their own way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if you have stocks, if you're trading in that space, it's more creative. And as always, once it is you want to put your monies where your mouth is, you need to ask for proper help and direction so that you do not cry at the end of the day. it might look great right now, but you can't tell what the markets can. Anything can happen literally in the stock exchange market. So you always want to have the right people guiding you, whilst it is you are dabbling in the market. Hey, who doesn't want a little risk? Playing it, but be safe. Now let's get into the foreign market itself, and move to the foreign direct investments, this time at the state level. And I'm talking about Enugu. I know I mentioned this earlier. So, what do you make of the $20 million investment from the Chinese company, Haier? They're partnering with Enugu State at the moment to improve on their technology. What do you make of that?
So it signals growing FDI confidence, foreign direct investment confidence at state level. So for decades, I think when you talk about foreign direct investments for decades now, it's more of like a Lagos centric kind of stuff. So now
Mm-hmm.
a commitment like this to manufacturing technology, not just locally, but you're also selling it is fairly rare. So that's an international manufacturer. It's not only investing, but it's expanding plans of it's expanding. So as it's expanding to you get to a lot of things, it's going to move Nigeria from importation to local production because currently most of our IC products are currently being imported. So that's going to move from current importation to production. It's also going to create jobs, skills development. You see all the tech guys, all the skills development, training, upstream job creation. You're going to see that too. And then the whole tech ecosystem is definitely going to grow. I mean, a local R&D center is going to be set up, and by them, from what they are saying too, they are going to have training facilities for students. That's going to be a really big move. So it's really
So
commendable for them. So that's also going to boost the state economy and domestic demand too.
I
So
agree with you on that. I absolutely agree with you on that. I love the fact that usually every most people want to be here in Lagos, but I like the fact that you're taking it out of Lagos and going to all the states, and trying to see what other investments can be tapped into, what kind other states bring to the fore, and also generate revenue for that state. So that's a positive. But does this shift the foreign direct investment conversation from the federal government to the states? Because when we talk about FDI, should the conversation be at the state level in if we're looking at things in a proper in this whole perspective?
yes, I mean, the one they're currently the ones doing with a perfect illustration. Why discuss FDI discussions increasingly need to consider state level, not just the federal level. So
Mhm.
normally like I said, when you mention foreign direct investments, you hear about places like Lagos, but then federal level policies and incentives, all these oil and gas, telecommunications, and all the rest. So this makes sense because many foreign investors need national approval license and policy consistency, but there's a limit. Not all foreign direct investment depend on federal government, especially for localized manufacturing or service projects. So it's very, very critical because in the state level now, let's say land and facilities, the state is going to
Mhm.
provide those lands and facilities, probably factory space, and it's going to also reduce setup costs and speed up project launch too. Even the local demand. So take for example, Enugu buying device for smart schools. It's going to be easier buying it from a company already in Enugu. So let's even
I
say the
agree.
transportation from Lagos to Enugu, you're mapping that out already. If they finally set it up, if you're buying from Lagos before and you're now to Enugu, and you now have to buy from Enugu now, you're mapping out transportation costs totally already.
All right.
So it's really a good. I think it should shift too. But if you want to monitor how projects are being done, it's better to bring them on the micro level. Then you can easily say who is accountable for that project. Like now with this one, you'll be able to point a finger and like, oh, it was in Enugu, so and
This.
so person. But federal level, really, you can't really say just as the government. But I think it should shift to state level discussions
Mm.
now.
I like that point of view as well, and I buy into that. The more we have it at state level, the more we see the states start to also help with providing jobs, and more people would rather be where they are as opposed to coming into the major cities and crowding them up and not having sustenance and all that. But once you also be able to grow those states. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Oh my word. That is something to look forward to. I'm so excited for that. But 2027 is around the corner. And as we know, that is the election year coming to our doorstep, more or less. Do you, what are your expectations? Anything significant that needs to be done this year, or will be, at least this is 2026. It's still early days, according to some. But I wonder, will the government be distracted with all the politicking and all that to put things in proper perspective where the markets are concerned or where the economy is concerned?
Currently, I don't think anybody can really predict what's going to happen in that space, but we can look at what has happened historically pre-election years. And for that, we saw like policy push, some ministries and agencies who
Mhm.
accelerate economic reforms, infrastructure projects, or investment drives to show performance. Distraction risk, they might come in, they might not come in. And in short, the government activity is going to just continue normally, but priorities may currently shift, balancing ongoing programs with political considerations. So I think that's what I just think about that space. Nobody can really predict what can happen in that space for this for now. You can just look at what has happened historically and be like, okay, it might repeat
Take a
itself.
cue from that and see
Yeah.
how it pans out, or how it panned out then, and see, okay, maybe there are things to review going into 2027. But we still have 2026 to ride out before we even get into 2027. But it's something to project and see where we are and what it is we are hoping to achieve. But before I let you go, for anyone who wants more insight, how do they get that insight? Where do they go to? How can they reach out to you and ask the questions, or your social media platform that they can, reach out? Anyone who's trying to
Oh,
make the right investments and the likes.
okay. You can get me on LinkedIn, Marisala ChiDaalu Nwocha. You can get me on LinkedIn. Then you can always send me a mail. I will drop that when I'm done. So,
Yeah. Okay. No, go ahead. You can drop that so they can reach out to you.
oh, you can just send me a mail at mkoch@afrinvest.com. I said that
Mm.
out loud. So,
So your final thoughts before I let you go.
final. Sorry, I didn't hear that. I didn't
Your
get that.
final thoughts before I let you go.
Mm, Stay safe in the market. It's very volatile. That's all what
I
I'll tell you.
I like that. Stay
Stay
safe
safe
in
in the
the
market.
market. You never know what can happen.
You
So
never
you
know what
also
happen. I mean, everybody's smiling now. You just be open to volatility. You might come and next week you're not smiling. That's how the market works. It's very volatile.
thank you so much, ChiDaalu, for all that insight. Lagos, I'm sure you've gained a lot, especially for those who are always looking forward to diversify their portfolio. One thing that she's also alluded to is, hey, get the right help. You do not want to dabble in the market and then get bitten. And that's, I say, but they said, ask the right questions. Seek the solution that would help you best and invest wisely. Well, that's the much we can take today on Marketplace. And hey, Marketplace comes your way every Monday at 5:15. And it's always great conversations we get to have. Hmm. There's still more music lined up ahead for you to get your evening sorted. So don't move a muscle. Shaka Khan is up on that, on my playlist. And we always play great music here in Smooth 98.1. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.